Every time I look at the news, I feel like the US economy is, I don't know, stable on the outside but weirdly shaky underneath.
Weirdly shaky is probably the most accurate economic term I've heard this year. But yeah, there's a lot going on. The government's making some big moves.
Like the tariffs?
Oh yeah, those new tariffs are one of the biggest shifts. A flat tariff on most imports and then extra ones for specific countries. The idea is to force companies to bring production back home.
And raise prices for everything in the meantime.
Exactly. It's that trade-off, protect American industry, but you make imports more expensive. And the Fed hates that because it pushes inflation back up.
Powell literally said they're not rushing any rate cuts because of all this policy uncertainty.
I saw that. Honestly, I don't blame him. The government's doing this big push for re-privatization, cutting regulations, lowering taxes, making the private sector take the lead instead of the government.
Yeah, the Treasury Secretary kept saying the economy looks good on the surface but brittle underneath, and that a lot of jobs are coming from government-related sectors instead of real private growth.
Which is kind of true. But then again, doing all this while running massive deficits, that's where it gets messy.
The debt number freaks me out. 38 trillion? That's huge.
And they just extended a bunch of tax cuts too. Good for households, good for businesses, bad for long-term debt.
So basically the government is saying, let's turbocharge growth and we'll deal with the debt later.
Pretty much. High risk, high reward. If the economy grows fast enough, great. If it doesn't, then you're stuck with more inflation, more debt, and higher interest payments.
And don't forget the shutdown earlier this year. That didn't help stability or investor confidence.
Yeah, that was a mess. But I will say this, the push for domestic manufacturing and energy investment could pay off. Like, long-term, building more stuff at home isn't a bad idea.
True. CHIPS Act, infrastructure bills, clean energy funding, that's all good if companies actually follow through.
The hard part is timing. Those benefits come years later. Tariffs and inflation hit immediately.
So the real question is, can the government survive the short-term pain long enough to get the long-term payoff?
Exactly. And can consumers survive it too? Because people already feel like everything's too expensive.
Honestly, I think the next year decides everything. Either the economy adjusts and grows, or we get turbulence.
Either way, it's going to be interesting. Stressful, but interesting. Cheers to that.